was a Warriors parade. I was like, what the fuck all these white people doing on this BART train with Warriors gear and shit. And it was like everybody, and I didn't even peep that they had the parade on Monday. I was like, what the fuck going on? The season over with, the Warriors won, and I was like, shit. What the fuck happened? And I was like, God damn, I'm just so far removed from all that, white mainstream media that I didn't give two shits about the thing. I was like, oh, damn, they had a parade. Oh well, time to move on.
There you go. Gotta move on with
Yeah,
my day. So you didn't see any non FBAs out there claiming that they invented basketball?
man, they was out there, but most people were caught up in the, the local white mainstream media hype and shit, the national media hype and stuff. Everybody's just on that fucking blue pill shit, man. Just being a copper top, following the dumbass sports like the dumbasses they are, and it's like everybody on that blue pill, sleepwalking this shit again. Oh yeah, let's have a parade. The Warriors are back. Motherfucking the Golden State Warriors didn't cut me no fucking checks. Fuck them. Yeah, this one dude tried to say I need to get out more. I was like, nigga, the Warriors ain't giving me shit. Fuck the Warriors. They ain't cutting me a check. I know they ain't cutting your black ass a check, nigga. Shut the fuck up.
Nah,
Your
exactly.
dumbass and shit. You need to get out
Well, they
more.
did do something for you. They kept you away from the arena because you gotta have the Bell Biv DeVoe to get in there.
Right. It's like, but here's the most important part. You wasted time on some niggas that don't give two shits about you. None of them. The players, the
Mm.
the office personnel, the owners, the people that work at the Chase Arena. Don't nobody give a fuck about you. What the fuck you worried about these motherfuckers in the parade? Fuck that parade. Fuck them too. Fuck Steph Curry. You heard me. Fuck Steph Curry. Fuck
All
Draymond
right.
Green. Fuck Clay Thompson. Ain't none of these niggas cutting me no checks. Who gives a fuck about them? You know?
I,
Black Voltron, don't talk about our gods that way. Those are our
They
gods.
can kiss the inner
And
reaches of my black ass, whoever guys they are.
Wait a
How
minute.
about that?
How two light skinned guys at a perennial Dennis Rodman want to be our god?
Shit, these stupid ass niggas, boy, just anything to have some escapism. Just niggas will get distracted over the. These niggas act like, oh, I'm sorry, man, but some of our people be acting like fucking dogs when they see a goddamn squirrel. Squirrel, 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 squirrel. Or a raccoon and shit. Actually, no, I take that back. They act more like raccoons. Get distracted
Oh,
over anything.
we're gonna talk about some coons today, boy.
Oh boy, here we go. Here we go.
Uh, oh my god. So wait, is this? Yeah, you got to see this thread that I put in the jumbotron. Man, it's like every it's like every 3 days this conversation gets put up again. Every 3 days, I don't get it. And when you hit them with the information, they still act like they didn't see it. I don't blame them. No, they got the beef patty. They got the beef patty crust in their eyes, so they didn't see it. I don't blame them. But my people out of line,
Hey,
and I'm about.
bro. I just had some beef patties the other day and stuff, and some jerk chicken at this spot over here in Oakland called Mentos. I ain't gonna front them beef patties be slamming, dude. I've been eating them beef patties since I was a little kid, going taking swimming lessons at the Berkeley YMCA. Man, them beef patties be on fleek. That jerk chicken be on fleek. I'm not gonna front on that. That's some good ass fucking Jamaican food. Is some good ass fucking food to the fullest. The service might be fucked up, but that food be on fleek.
the worse the service, the better the goddamn food, and you know it.
Oh yeah, yeah. They be coming. They
Yeah,
be
but y'all know y'all ain't giving no white people that pass. Don't do that.
no, no, no shit. You white folks, you get bad service and bad food and shit.
There you
Bad
go.
service with
There you go.
unseasoned fucking food, man. Get the fuck out of here with that shit.
Y'all
Well, that's
fuck
why.
around. They don't really like you. You get the fattiest part of the meat.
Oh, worst people be Asians out here, boy. They won't even give you no extra soy sauce and no napkins and shit, man. I stopped eating fucking
Mm.
Chinese food, goddamn 3, 4 years ago and shit. I'm like, fuck you. Where my got extra napkin at? And why you giving me one packet of soy sauce and shit? Got this four goddamn plates of food, and you give me one soy sauce packet. That's enough. That's enough. That's too
That
much.
extra,
That's too
that extra,
much.
that
Too
extra,
much.
that
Bitch, give
extra.
me my fucking soy sauce. Fuck, and where my fucking spoon at? Fuck wrong with you? You spent $30 this motherfucker. You give me one soy sauce pack? Fuck you. And give me. I will take the whole container of napkins. Fuck them
I'm sure you
motherfuckers.
will.
Fuck
I
them.
ain't fucking,
You know.
I ain't fucking with you, Black Vulture. I
Mm-mm.
ain't fucking with you.
That's why I stopped going there. You don't get my money, and that's why a lot in Chinatown, a lot of these businesses going out of business. A lot
Listen,
of them.
this
That
is
ain't
where
nobody
black
talking about that.
this is where black folk need to jump in and take that property and start making our own.
For real, for real. I mean, Chinatown's been
Change Chinatown
encroaching
into
because
Soul
of the
Town.
it's the illegal immigration. What they don't talk about is a lot of Asian illegal immigration, specifically Chinese, and a lot of these
Hmm.
Asians, especially these Asian supremacists, white supremacists news sites, don't ever talk about that. With
Yes,
the
sir.
with those Asian massage parlor slash prostitution sex sites and stuff, sex massages and shit. A lot of them
Hmm.
be illegal immigrants and shit be coming on cargo containers and shit out here in the bay. So they
I
won't
saw you
hardly
for
ever talk
Weapon
about
4.
that.
I wish they had an angry button for that because that pisses me off
Oh
every
no,
time I think about
Twitter
it.
won't do that. Twitter is supposed to be a safe haven.
Yeah, I guess we could use like the peace button if we get angry. I guess like can substitute, but uh, I get angry every time I think about that because me and my ex went to go get our feet done, and this is a very wealthy man, and we're sitting there getting our feet done, and this bitch is trying to sell him pussy in front of me. I'm sorry for cursing. I hope y'all don't think
No, no,
that's that, but
Miss
that's
Nikki, Madam Nikki, we
right
gonna
in
What?
cuss
front
in
of
this
me.
room today. We
What?
finna cuss in this room today because
Right in
I got to cuss
front
these
of me.
Caribbeans out.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm sitting right there, and it took everything in me to not haul off and just beat the crap out of her. But I was like, you know what? We're gonna just leave. And today, if that would have happened to me, I would have called
ICE,
immigration and the
yes, call
yeah,
ICE,
yeah,
call
but
ICE,
right in
which by
front
the
of me,
way is
and then
not racist.
yeah, it's so. But I know that this room ain't to like bash immigrants or anything. I know we
Oh
talking
no,
about
no.
yeah.
They went past it. They went past it. No, I'm going to do the bashing today.
Okay.
I got to do it.
Ice, ice, baby.
There
Too
you
cold,
go.
too cold. Ice,
There you go.
ice, baby. The
But
black
I
and
think
gold.
let's begin. All right, folks. Y'all saw the title. We talking about not FBA, including myself. I don't subscribe to this, but I got to talk to the not FBA. We did not create hip hop. So shut the fuck up already and respect FBA. We did not create hip hop, ladies and gentlemen. No, we did not. We influenced it. We did not create it. And I'm really starting to get tired of hearing Jamaicans running around saying this because, contrary to Jamaica, who claims that they're always these smart people, the smartest people in the island, they have not done research. They like to forget that that reggae didn't even start as reggae. It started as ska music, which got its influences from not only calypso but American jazz music. Because last I checked, they weren't playing reggae in the 30s on the island. I could be wrong, but I haven't seen any report to refute that. And the fact that I got Busta Rhymes and all these other Jamaicans and Caribbeans running around saying that they invented this and to give them their flowers, y'all don't even control reggae music. Y'all got the Chinese controlling that. But we're supposed to take you serious when you say that you guys created hip hop. Okay. Well, I'm going to let FBAs today tell you the truth. So whoever wants to start, I'm going to shut my mic off because I know a lot of FBAs want to sound off on it. So anybody want to start, go ahead. And make sure you tweet this out because I want all them tethers to come up in here and try to tell me something.
Hey man, let me get started, man. Busta Rhymes, Pete Rock, all the rest of these Jamaican American niggas. They know the fucked up part about it is we already got documented evidence when they saying the contrary back in the fucking 80s and 90s and 2000s. This is bullshit. All right, we got your fucking what you said in Source magazine and rap pages. You know what I'm saying? You niggas know goddamn well hip hop didn't start in no Jamaica. How come hip hop ain't in Jamaica right now? Number one. How come you don't have a history of having Jamaica? No, hip hop came from soul, jazz, funk. All right, that funk, Sly's Family Stone, Parliament Funkadelic. Nigga James Brown, get the fuck out of here. You talking that fucking hip hop started in goddamn Jamaica. It was Cool Herc, everybody know, was playing goddamn funk records. James Brown, the godfather of soul, foundational black American, straight from goddamn Georgia and shit. Fuck them. No. Everybody knows goddamn well no hip hop started in New York City, South Bronx, nigga. Get the fuck out of here with that dumb shit. And if we want to go back, even before Cool Herc, you had Disco King Mario, and you had a whole bunch of folks. Man, it's time to shut these niggas down. I'm sorry. I mean, I love your food, love your culture, but goddamn it, you didn't create hip hop. Next, you keep this shit up. Next thing you know, they're gonna be talking about, oh, we created hip hop. We need reparations for, we descendants of slavery too. Nigga, shut up. Get your dumb ass the fuck out of this. Busta Rhymes, nigga, hurry up and bust a rap, a current one recently that's gonna sound good. Or get the fuck off the stage, start doing what the rest of these washed up rappers are doing, and get into movies, get into theater, get into music production, do something else. Cause I'm about sick of looking at that big old fat headed nigga and shit with his big ass fucking grill and shit. Nigga look like a fucking what them things and them wind up things with the big ass teeth and the big ass mouth and shit like that to be going cha 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 cha
Oh,
cha
the
cha cha
teeth,
cha 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 cha.
the
Yeah,
joke teeth.
man.
You ain't shit.
Big ass motherfucking mouth. Nigga
But
teeth
look,
look like he look like a big ass Jamaican Pac-Man and shit. Like nigga, shut your
damn.
monkey ass up.
Listen,
And
but
I'm
you
gonna
know
land
Buster
on
can't
that.
do that. He can't. He was in that Halloween movie. He didn't come off. He can't do that. But I appreciate
Black
the sentiment,
Voltron is
brother. I
funny.
appreciate that.
Black Voltron is hilarious. Between Kid Gravity and Black Voltron, y'all be cracking me up, and I don't even think y'all be trying to be funny.
Y'all,
Y'all
y'all
be
want a fun
cracking me
fact,
up.
real quick? When I was living on Long Island, I lived one block, one street over from Busta Rhymes, and of course he had to be the Negro with the most, with the brightest and the most. He a Jamaican, live in that house type of house. And I used to hear music coming out of there. That man was not playing no Jamaican music. That man was playing either his old records or he was playing R&B records. So for someone who said that they created hip hop, why aren't you playing hip hop slash reggae records? I just found that funny. But whoever wants to go next, go ahead.
Hey y'all, thanks for having me. This is Nicey Girl.
Oh
I
Lord,
just
here we
find
go.
it I'm just disturbed by the fact that no one wants FBAs to have shit. You know what I'm saying? We can't have Juneteenth. We can't have hip hop. We can't have soul food. Like what can we have on our own without sharing it from someone with someone or someone claiming it as their own? Number one, the disrespect just has to stop. Secondly, I was just in Jamaica in Montego Bay 4 years ago. I took my mom for her 70th birthday, and one in the club they did not play one reggae song. They didn't play one Busta Rhymes song. They were just playing all US hip hop. Drake, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Like not one dance hall record, nothing. The whole time I was out there. Also, the whole time I was in Jamaica, I did not see one Pan African flag. Not one. The whole time. I'm just saying.
Mm. So wait, say that one more again. They
Get
weren't
up here,
playing any reggae
Sweetheart.
records.
I did not. I went to the club. The resort that I stayed on actually had a club, but we also, toured or whatever. They did not play one dance hall record or one reggae song the whole time in the damn club. I kid you not. Also, I did not see, after touring the whole island, driving around, everything, I did not see one Pan African flag. Not one time.
You saw the green, gold, and
Nowhere.
black.
I saw the Jamaican flag. That's it. That yellow and green thing.
Yeah, you're only going to see that with the ball heads and the rosters in the mountains. That's where you're going to see that, if
I'm saying
anything.
I drove around, we got on the bus, everything. Like we were all out there. I did not see one Pan African flag, period.
That is
Period.
really interesting. That is interesting.
Out of many, we are one.
No
But
red, black, and green, huh?
Nowhere, y'all. Nowhere. Even when I
Nah.
went shopping and stuff like that, when you want to buy souvenirs and stuff, they didn't even sell them in the souvenir stores.
Yeah, the closest you'll see there is the red, yellow, and green with the lion on it, the Lion of Judah. That's about it. But yeah, they don't practice that Pan Africanism. They're more UK than Jamaica right now.
Yeah.
But let's keep it moving. Let me see. Ryan, go ahead.
All right. I think it has to be said. I blame New York. We have black immigrants in California. They don't be saying this. I only be hearing this coming out of New York. Every time I look, it's a Twitter account out of New York. They got immigrants in the Bay. They got immigrants in LA. They got immigrants in San Diego. They don't be saying this. They do not be saying this. They know they plays. This only comes out of New York. I don't know what else to say about this, but it's looking real fishy out of their section. That's all I'm gonna say.
I can't even get mad at him. That's the truth. New York thinks they created everything. All right, we did revolutionize pizza. We'll give you that. Fuck
Hey,
Chicago.
y'all
Shout
food
out to
do be
Afro Lake.
banging. Y'all food do be banging.
But yes, yeah, us New Yorkers, we have a very bad habit of thinking we created everything, including Jesus. So we got to get out of that. And by the way, New York City rap scene is dead, and I don't hear no New York City reggae artists coming out that's revolutionizing the field. So yeah, I think New York gonna have to hold this L, but let's keep it moving. Sincere to love God, dude. I know you from New York like me. Would you like to challenge Ryan on what he said, or would you like to go in on the tethers? Go ahead. I'll let you have the floor.
It's sincere love to
Sincere love to
God.
God. Sincere love to
Yeah,
God.
he just
Now
said
I'm
it
just
said
listening.
yeah. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Now I'm just listening, y'all. I'm working right now. Y'all go ahead.
Yeah, I
Yes,
brought
sir.
him up just to be up here just in case because I know he be working, but just in case he wanted to say a little something
All right.
because he has a lot of
Yeah,
knowledge.
Nikki, I'm gonna
Yeah.
need you to keep your drive through order to
Hey, Kid
yourself.
Gravity. I ain't even gonna hold. Like Bobby Schmurder and like Roddy Rebel, like they was actually pretty good. Like Jamaican artists aren't even that bad out of New York. Like y'all have been pretty smooth. It's nowadays these other dudes from like the Dominican and Puerto Rico. It's just all over Haiti. It's all over the place now. It's like Biggie was Jamaican, so like we kind of get, like you guys kind of slide a little bit more because
I
you're
can't give
Jamaicans.
Biggie a pass, sir. Biggie said that one suspect line. I can never forgive Biggie for that. I
Well,
don't care if he's Jamaican or not.
what did he say? Oh
When he
Lord.
said I suck your daddy's D, nah, I can't give him a pass for that. I looked at Biggie differently when I first heard that. I was like, no, sir. You did this for a female? Nah, I'm good on that. And most of the country don't even fuck with Biggie like that anyway, but it is what it is. But yeah, you brought up Haitians. Haiti, 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 Haiti. I'm gonna get in so much trouble for this, but I don't care. Until Haitians get compa music popping off, where I see y'all on the Grammys, I need y'all to stop talking about this. Like real talk. Just cause y'all got Kodak Black and y'all think y'all into something, I need y'all to be quiet because number one, y'all got way too many problems to be sitting here having this discussion. Y'all got a whole coin out there that Border Patrol agents minted with their own money, commemorating them whooping y'all ass at that border. But y'all in these conversations. I need y'all to get y'all priorities straight. And this goes for Jamaicans too. Y'all now want to talk about reparations on the island. That's great. Get everybody in order. Discussions like this should be secondary. Now, FBAs are allowed to go out and make this a primary target because their entire culture is being attacked. Everybody's taken away from it. So they have a right. But yeah, I need Haitians to go stand down on this. But anybody else want to go ahead. And make sure y'all tweet the space out because I need more tethers up in here. I especially need tethers that subscribe to Jamaica created hip hop. I need that. I'm fighting violence today. I will piss in your jerk seasoning today. Yes, I will. Mark, go ahead.
Mark. Okay. Well, when I look at New York, I go back to the 80s and 90s. I'm 48. And I believe at that time you had more FBA with more influence in the city. And now the city looks like it don't have any direction because I think the immigrant class just overwhelmed the FBA that y'all had there. And the culture, it don't stick in the rest of black America. If you notice, New York don't lead anything anymore. Uh, a lot of your trends are going to come from the middle of the country down south and back west, and that's because you have more people tied into the traditional south, which is the home of FBA. So, I mean, even when you look at soul music, Motown, all of those artists came from down south generally. That was the culture. And as far as hip hop, they never talk about Grandmaster Flowers, who was before Kool Herc and Bam and all these other people. And he was FBA from my understandings. And reggae was inspired. There's a documentary about it. It was inspired by soul singers out of the South, Motown music. So their culture pretty much is ours. It's not the other way around. We don't take things from other people generally because if you know anything about FBA, we're really strong headed and individualistic. Some black Nikes can come out tomorrow and somebody will go dye theirs another color just so they'll be different. That's the energy we kind of move with, and that's why we create and move on to other things. We don't have time to realize the value in the things that we create, and that's kind of our fault. But now that we gatekeeping, I can see us getting to a better place, and I'm gonna land it right there, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Again, so that's 0-2 New York. Come on now. Y'all look like the Knicks when the season start. Come on now. Y'all know we know better than this. We should we should be the mecca for all these genres to come together and collaborate. But of course, the Caribbean tethers show up here and think they run everything. The only thing you ran is from your responsibilities at home, but it is what it is. No tears. Go ahead. No tears. Go ahead.
I was sorry, family. I was busy doing something, but yeah, I'm with you, man. These tellers, man, they come here trying to keep something that they don't own. Point blank, period. I got into it with a Haitian the other day, because just like you said, you brought up Kodak Black and stuff like that, and uh, this motherfucker tried to bring up like Trick Daddy and the Zoe Pound and all this stuff, and I'm like, bro, those niggas are not even non-factors. I said, first of all, Trick Daddy, I said one of his parents is FBA. You know what I'm saying? I said, and then he's not even really from Miami. The boy really from South Carolina. You know, I said, there's really nothing to argue with you niggas about. You niggas come over here and cosplay us. Like I've never seen a black American cosplay an African. It's just not something that we do. Point blank. Period. I mean,
Brother, to be
it's
fair,
not popular,
brother, to be fair, they did that. They did do that in Black Panther. To be fair,
bro. That was a fictitious character. That
I
was a
know, but
fictitious
you
character.
brought
I'm,
up
I'm talking
cosplay. That's
about.
what I'm saying.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm talking about in real life, bro. In real
I say
life, bro.
less.
We're not acting like Africans. We're not dressing. I mean, we're not doing that. You know what I'm saying? Them niggas come over here and disguise themselves as us.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Ryan.
So, I mean, I'm from the younger generation, so I don't know if any of y'all know this, but New York actually stole a dance from Oakland recently. It's that little like pop down, kick your leg out that like all the New Yorkers be doing. That's kind of famous right now. They stole that shit straight out of Oakland. Oakland had been doing that shit since like 2013, and until I got to college, my homeboy he from Oakland, like straight out of San Leandro, like right next to the Coliseum and everything. And he literally told me about it. He was showing me videos back from like
Just
2014,
correction,
2014.
brother. Correction, brother. I'm sorry to interrupt. San Leandro ain't Oakland. You got Oakland, and then next door is San Leandro, right on Durant. I need to
No, no,
correct that real quick. Oakland ain't San
no,
Leandro.
no,
Let's
I
get
know.
that straight from the jump. All right. I gotta correct that with you, brother.
No,
Just real quick. Thanks.
he lived in both. Like that's where his parents stayed, but his like he stayed with his cousin like high school type shit, like in Oakland. But like he was originally from
Yeah, I
San
feel you.
Leandro.
But I just wanted for everybody else who don't know the geography, I just gotta set that straight because niggas start confusing and
Yeah, yeah, I get you. I get you.
conflagrating Oakland, San Leandro, Hayward, Berkeley, Richmond. I'm like, nah, nigga. Oakland is Oakland, the city of Oakland, the city of dope. You know what I'm saying? From the east to the west to the north, east side, west side, north side, and that's what it is and stuff. San Leandro, that's another city that's on over. And actually, it was a sundown town. And Hayward was a whole nother thing. It was actually Russell City, but I just need to let everybody else who from different geographical areas know town business is town business. Oakland is Oakland, California. All right. That's it. Sorry about that.
No, all good, all good. My bad. I haven't been there in a minute, but he fish up and like show me the politics and all that when I go up with him. Um, yeah. So anyway, New York straight up stole that dance move that's like hella popular now. It's like it's kind of crazy because Oakland gets a lot of their shit stolen, and like out here in the West Coast, like everybody knows Oakland's one of the most poppin' cities. Like all the way up from San Diego to Seattle, everyone knows like Oakland's popping. Like a lot of they swag we get, a lot of like just like the words, the wordplay we just all like the little swagger, the little hat, every like just everything we do is kind of just based out of like Oakland, LA, Seattle. Like it's really just a share of the West Coast swag, and like Oakland just don't get his credit, and New York straight up stole their dance, and I'm like, damn, like just it sucks. That's all I got.
I appreciate that. I showed my age. I don't know what the hell you were talking about, but I'm gonna go look this dance up. What's the name of it again?
It's like they be doing it in all the Pop Smoke videos. I'll try to find you some music videos to show you.
Yeah, if you could find it in a tweet, just put it in the jumbotron. Let's see. What is this? Dickerson Mikos, go ahead.
What's good, y'all? I just got a couple questions. This is real, I guess, to the host. Um, the title non FBA, we didn't create hip hop. Shut the fuck up already and respect. FBA. I'm just trying to figure out like why are we like kind of taunting these people? You know what I mean? Regardless if we know how fucked up they are, it's like some. It's just something about this title that's getting to me. It's like a level of pettiness that we don't need. You know what I mean? As foundational Black Americans, like, and there's other things that we could talk about. You know what I mean? And like, what's the purpose? And like, what are we gonna get out of telling people? You know what I mean? That they didn't create hip hop because honestly, the music industry is controlled by the oppressor. You know what I mean? And none of that music, none of that money really goes into the Black community. So I'm just curious, on how you like what's the purpose of really, you know, telling these people to shut the fuck up and because I don't hear, like I said, I don't hear like this other guy said, people, these others talking about, they did this and they did that. The only time I'm hearing it is when I'm on Twitter and other people are talking about it. So it's just something about this room, you know what I mean? That's kind of like hitting me. Like I don't get it. Like what are we getting? What are we gaining out of this?
All right. Well,
Why
number
are
one,
you in this room
let
then if
me
you have a problem with it?
hang on. No, no, no. I'm gonna explain it. I'm
Because
gonna
I'm
explain it.
FBA, Nikki.
I'm gonna
That's
explain it. Hang on, brother. I'm gonna explain it. Number one, I'm not FBA. Number two, I've heard this sentiment on the street, not just Twitter. I've heard this for at least a decade living in New York. That Caribbean people running around saying that they created hip hop, they created R&B, they created all these genres, but their countries are in shambles right now. And I created this room to one have you hear from FBAs where hip hop came from who are knowledgeable with this because all these Caribbeans and Africans run and listen to these entertainers who don't know shit about the music industry. They just hear whatever fabrications they have in their mind. So that's number one. And number two, I also brought up this room to illustrate a point that your countries and your cultures are in shambles right now. And instead of worrying about how you're going to get away from the oppressors, like you said, like Europe and Asia, you're worried about what the fuck FBAs are doing. And every time you guys worry about what FBAs are doing, you all get embarrassed to the point then y'all start sabotaging what FBAs are trying to do. So I created this room to say, okay, hopefully you can start hearing from a non FBA that's telling you, y'all, we have way more struggles out here than we want to give light to, and things that are way more important than who the fuck created hip hop. You know how music started. There's been documentaries, movies, TV shows that have illustrated how Black American music has influenced the rest of the world. So I don't know why y'all are trying to kiss up to Jewish folk by saying you created hip hop. They not gonna put more money in your pocket. Y'all don't even control reggae. Y'all don't control soca. Y'all don't control compa. Why y'all worried about hip hop? Y'all and the Chinese run them three industries. Go worry about them. So this is why I created the room in the first place, because I need to get that out there.
I believe Mac had his hand up. I'm gonna go ahead and add to that and land my plane after that. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I mean, the guy is I guess he's disguising himself as a FBA. I guess he's a $5 FBA. So, and I guess he's trying to correct our behavior. But every night, you got this weirdo on here named Samagio talking bad about FBA, calling us hate groups, free men, and all these other things that we call ourselves, which ain't never committed a hate crime against nobody. But this guy got rooms calling us a hate group. So I don't know if FBA running around the streets of America bashing or beating on other on Africans or any other people out of the diaspora. So I don't understand how we got the designation of being a hate group. And as far as stealing culture with hip hop, popping comes out of the Bay Area. I'm from Los Angeles, okay? And we know popping came right out of the Bay, okay? It was created and somehow drafted into the larger scheme of what they call hip hop later. But hip hop was not here before locking and popping was. That's what's strange. And you could tell that when they created hip hop, they wanted to separate it from locking and popping, but somebody did that on purpose because if the other was here first and they're very similar looking and how they go about the dancing, you can tell when somebody took something and try to remix it and take it. So, like I said, if you look at hip hop, you're gonna always come to the point to where it's always rooted in FBA culture. And Jay-Z, the Bay Area was popping collars, and all of a sudden he comes up with dirt off his shoulders. They have always stolen things from the Bay. Okay. Debate because it's a smaller town. Like LA can stand up for itself. You got in LA metro area, you got 18 million people, 4 million in the city. So LA can always make its presence felt. But the Bay is what, 300,000 to 500,000 people. So they don't really, get the shine that they should. We all know that in California. Ain't nobody stupid, bro. But I'm gonna get off and let somebody else speak.
All right, let's get FBA J. Go ahead. FBA J, you can go ahead.
Hello, you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I didn't. I just came into the room, so I'm just listening, and I'm listening to the first guy explain about why we always talk about the hip hop and do that in New York, and they do feel like they created it. They speak on it. and we have big arguments about it. And on my timeline, on where we at, I got so much information and truth that shows the opposite. Receipts, like the sisters call it. I'm just going to put that out there. And the second one is for the brother that just got off, saying that New York take a lot from Cali. Come on, bro. We all FBA, bro. Like New York has never complained about everybody else doing hip hop, but it started in New York. You don't never hear us saying, yeah, everybody stole hip hop, and we mad that Atlanta is doing their thing. No, everybody get their turn, bro. Cause we all one people. Like we ain't on that tribalism shit. Let's not start it through hip hop. I'm saying let's keep focused. Let's stay together like how we've been doing. That's all I want to say.
I think you went. Are you still there?
I'm only jacking up, man.
Hello?
Hang on, man. Jay, you still there? Okay, I don't know what he doing. He probably getting something to eat. Let's keep it moving. Who next?
Can I go? Just real
Uh,
quick.
sure.
I was just going to piggyback off what Mac was saying about Oakland. Honestly, Oakland and Detroit, like the two most like those are just the most FBA cities to me because like Detroit and Oakland always get it popping. And like you were saying, Oakland's a smaller town, so it don't get its it don't get its representation, just because it's also across from San Fran, and we all know like Silicon Valley and is all that. But Oakland, man, that's one of the greatest cities. If you ever pop out to the West Coast, don't just go to Long Beach. Just don't just go to LA. You got to pop up to Oakland. That's an FBA safe haven. Like that in Detroit, those are two of the best places. I'll just leave it at that.
Appreciate that. Mac, go ahead.
No, I was trying to explain to the brother that I'm not here to create a division. And he's right. FBA culture is FBA culture. But I believe with the proliferation of the immigrant class, they love to compete among themselves and they bring that into our culture. And so I think a lot of this, where this started, where that came from, I think a lot of that comes from that class of people. Okay. Because I don't remember listening to soul music in the 80s and the early 90s and people bragging about where Luther Vandross came from or where Teddy Pendergrass came from. I don't remember that being a thing. We was proud of Motown Records. We knew it was in Detroit, but it was not, it didn't drive a division in us. It's just black culture to us. So, I see all of these little groups that come here. They seem to bring a certain amount of division with them that didn't exist before. Because, like I say, black culture is black culture to us. But also, hip hop is a multi-billion-dollar driver, and I think it's a sore point for most blacks in America. The fact that we don't control that industry financially. And so when you look at what something that came from just just the culture of black Americans, what it turned into, and the fact that we don't control that industry, it's hurtful. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that also drives some of this, where this came from, where that came from, who's gatekeeping it. It's a conversation, and it always will be. So I'm sure somebody else wants to speak.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Like, yeah, it sucks that we don't control it, but you have to also, like, for one thing, Caribbeans, y'all got to give the Southern rappers their flowers because they were some of the biggest entrepreneurs in the game in the late '90s. Well, in the '90s and the 2000s, they were selling the stuff out their trunk. They were their own CEOs before they got co-opted. So that simple fact right there, being businessmen and businesswomen applying their craft and selling it themselves and learning how to work the market. Y'all got to give them respect on that. Most times, especially with Jamaicans, yeah, they'll go running around the parties, and whatever. But as soon as they get signed, it's like they get signed and they forget where they come from. So it's almost as if you sit here and you're making all these accusations, and then what makes it even worse is people are providing you with the proof that you might be misguided on this, but you're still fighting it. I think that's what pisses me off more, because I've watched this conversation for, like I said, a decade, and people have put out receipts saying, yeah, you're misguided, but they're still fighting it. I don't understand this. And now you got the celebrities fighting on their behalf, which makes it even worse, because we figured, okay, once we gave you the information on the street, you should have ended it. But then you have Nicki Minaj and Busta Rhymes and all these other people coming outside. Y'all let Fat Joe say something and nobody checked this man. That right there for me knew I knew this will never end. The day he said Caribbean people created hip hop, y'all should have said, "Listen, you're a guest in this house. You're the second tier guest. You can say a word. You made enough money off black folks. You need to just sit down and worry about your own side." But you know, it is what it is. Whoever wants to go, go ahead.
Okay. Well, I sat up. There's a podcast that comes on. Math Hoffa. I guess he's one of the battle MCs. Kind of getting into another realm of entertainment now with the podcast thing. Now he had 21 Savage on his show, and these guys they sitting up in the middle of Harlem, I believe, in a barber shop. It's a cool little podcast, but they're grilling him about being from England or being returned to England. I guess when the feds tried to, I guess, tie him up in some legal matters or whatever, and was questioning his citizenship. And what was odd about it to me was, if you got any sense whatsoever, there's like 6 or 7 guys in this barbershop a part of this podcast, and all of those guys are probably from Caribbean lineage, African lineage. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you're sitting here questioning 21 Savage about England. And I'm sitting there saying, well, why 21 Savage didn't say, well, wait a minute, y'all niggas from somewhere too. You know what I'm saying? But to people in New York, they generally look at us like, like they are us. And they speak on behalf of us. And dude, it is not the same. I've been in New York a lot of times. It is not the same culture. It's not, and it's not just New York. It's in New Jersey. It's in Philly. It's that whole northeastern branch of the country. It's in Boston. You go to Boston and Eritreans. They want you to know the Eritreans. They don't have nothing to do with nobody else. Even the black Indians up there don't want nothing to do with nobody. So it's just, I find it on the West Coast, the South, and in the middle of the country. That seems to be where Black Americans, FBA, is happy to be themselves, and they not ashamed of it. They don't hold their head down about it or nothing. Uh, if you tell somebody you're a black non-immigrant, they get mad. But those are the same people that will fly their Puerto Rican flag, their Haitian flag, and all of this other shit. But the minute we say, "Nah, we that's not me," they look at you like you doing something different. I push a red, white, and blue because that's where we come from. I'm not into red, black, and green. That's not my thing. That's from somebody that's over there. We 500 years removed from that situation. So, I don't know how other people feel, but I monitor all of this stuff, and I'm seeing how it's playing out. And the division is coming. I'm waiting for the time, bro. And for real, I think it's going to spark something in the streets on some level at some point in time, at a rally or a parade or something. The division is going to be drawn eventually.
Yeah, but I hear you. Well, first thing, math off is Jamaican. For those
Figures.
who don't know that, so that's one thing. But two, I think because hip hop now has like, honestly, I don't really listen to hip hop today. Like, how many of them are really FBA?
Most of them. Not out of New York though, but everywhere else, yeah.
Right. I think it's gonna take them to start saying, "Listen, we don't mind people coming into hip hop if that's what they're gonna go for, but Yeah, these younger cats, they're gonna have to start gatekeeping. They're gonna have to start saying, listen, if you don't come into hip hop and pay homage to who created it and who laid the groundwork for us to do this, then y'all got to get up out of here because y'all can't keep having people disrespect the culture like that. So you might be right, Mac. It might have to go to a street level. I just hope it don't go to street level because we know a lot of them don't think like intellectually on a street level. When it comes to the street level, they're gonna take it to some violent shit. I don't want no violent shit. I think you guys need. I think those younger cats need to start saying, "Listen, this is our shit, and we got to protect it. If you don't want to protect it, then go start your own sector of call it island hip hop if you want, and go over there and do your thing." But we can't have this slander of hip hop continue because it doesn't do anything for us. Jay, go ahead.
You know,
Uh, your phone's breaking up. Jay, come back in because your phone's breaking up.
yeah, hello, I'm good.
Y- Yeah, now you're good.
All right, nah, because I missed my phone acting up. I don't know what it is with Twitter today. So I'm just gonna speak on quick fast about the New York situation. Like my input, I'm 48, so I've been listening to hip hop for a long time. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. Nah, New York is twisted. It's co-op, man. All of them. All of them is like you said, Math Hoffa Jamaican. The other brother in there is Haitian. Like it's all co-op, bro. That's what it is. Like if you're gonna say like the youth gotta hold it down, majority of the youth that's in hip hop from New York, they Caribbean. You know what I mean? It ain't really too much. The main ones that's really holding it down from New York that's all the way FBA is Nas, Jay, you know what I mean? Maybe a few others that's from the old school. And the next thing I wanted to talk about was brother was saying something about Cali, how, New York took a lot out of Oakland. That probably so, respectfully, I don't sometimes, we take pieces from each other and build off of it. But that don't shouldn't make us have like a disdain or bitterness. It's just taking the craft further. Now the thing about, busting what he said, bust like his name is, he a buster, what he said. It's so much receipts and truth about how it started. Kirk is carrying crates for. If you could Google, you could Google DJ. It's DJ that you could Google that I'm saying that was not that definitely was doing it before him because they try to bring up the big speakers from Jamaica, but it was already people doing that. King Disco Mario, I believe he's from North Carolina. That's just one of them. So it's just a lot going on. The culture is getting taken from us, and if we don't stand up for it, that's what it's going to be. That's all I want to say.
Yes, sir. Anybody else?
Yeah, you know, there's been an eerie silence in hip hop since Bambaataa was exposed for apparently what he allegedly was accused of. Uh, you know, the gatekeepers, Karis One closed his big mouth. You don't hear nothing from him anymore. Uh Chuck D never said too much past the 90s, so I wouldn't put too much on him. But I just noticed that a lot of the gatekeepers, the so-called Zulu Nation, they went really eerily silent. And that's because if hip hop is anything, especially on that side, we find out that it may be more LGBT, uh, if not by the members, definitely by the people who kind of push the culture over there. If we get behind the scenes, and I think that's what a lot of these people don't want to respond to. But also, these guys are eerily silent on the fact that this whole thing about who really created this art form, that discussion is being had, and they don't want to talk about it now. You know, and I find it very very strange because You see FBA like I believe Rakim and Eric B. I believe those are FBAs. Uh, I'm not sure, but I get the feeling that possibly Run and DMC was FBA. So I'm just saying that you could clearly see the FBA dominance in early on hip hop. I mean, even LL. Okay, right now, even down south, a lot of your artists are from Trinidad or from the Haitian descent. You know, I don't
I
see
gotta
the
push
I don't
back
see
on
the
that a
southern
little. I
artists
gotta
talk.
push back on that a little.
Let him finish. Let him finish first.
I don't see the southern artists from these different places shitting on FBA though. That's the thing about it. I see Nicki Minaj dissing. You know what I'm saying? It's from a certain region that like to throw shit at FBA, and so and I guess maybe because if they are of another place in the diaspora and they down south or back west, they understand that they come from a more FBA dominant culture, and that shit ain't cool. So I'm not. I'm just seeing little things, bro, and I'm just pointing them out. Go ahead.
Yeah.
All I
Was
was
that you,
gonna say
Ryan?
is that all I was gonna say is that don't let the little like don't let the Haitians in Florida fool you. Most of Memphis dudes, like dudes coming out of Alabama, the Louisiana dudes, they straight FBA. They straight that like straight. I mean it's like straight FBA. I don't know how else to put it. They don't get fooled by the Haitians in Florida. That's all.
Yes, sir. But back to what Max said. Fine, I'll say it. New York. New York's off code. I'm just gonna say it. I'm from there. I lived there all my life, up until a year and a half. New York's been off code. They know better. They're supposed to be. They were supposed to be the mecca for hip hop, but they let the South take it. And then they started using, like you said, all these Caribbean and Afro born um, artists to try to reclaim their name. Nah. Once you let that title Mecca of hip hop get co-opted and get taken from you, your best bet is to just find the next Jay-Z, find the next Nas. But they couldn't, so they used sounds from other places to sound somewhat New York, but it's not New York. So yes, New York and the Northeast, they have to take a lot of this blame for this conversation because a lot of immigrant children grow up there and don't know the history of hip hop. They just hear what Hot 97 Power 105 play for them, and it's mostly Nicki Minaj, it's mostly Drake, it's mostly whatever Kodak Black and all these other artists who are not FBA talking and saying things, and they think that's what it is because a lot of them don't want to research. So yes, I have to take that from New York. I don't mind doing it. But Jay, go ahead, and then Stephanie go.
Hi, thank you for holding this space. I do agree with you for the most part. I am from Brooklyn, Bed-Stuy to be exact, and I grew up in a time that it was all battle rap, and my sister used to be a battle rapper, and I do remember the times she used to have girls crying and walking away. That's how she used to shut the other females down. She even shut down a dude one time. So it was all us back then. It was straight black American music. I do remember that. But in all fairness, I did approach a lot of brothers on the street recently, and I asked them, "Did you know Jamaicans created hip hop?" And the first thing that came out their mouth was a look of shock and a look of anger. And the first thing that came out their mouth was, "Who the fuck said that?" Everybody I asked, they were like, "Who the fuck said that?" They was shocked and they was angry. They was ready to go to fisticuffs about that. So a lot of them woefully do not know that what's really happening here because it's so like the whole Pan-Africanism thing took over. The whole, you got people like Fat Joe gonna talk about it was created by Puerto Ricans and Jamaicans. Come on, you disrespected when you said that. That was way out of pocket. Yes, we should have been more careful with how we safeguard our history and our culture. Yes, we should have. But in all fairness, A lot of these dudes don't know what's being put out in the atmosphere. And like I said, I done said it to like 4 or 5 people already. So now I'm going to be the voice and I'm going to let people know what's really happening. I already told a few people and they was already pissed off behind it. So just imagine if everybody knew. It's going to shake the tree. But believe it or not, if any of them don't believe that it was, if anyone believes that it was created by Jamaicans, then tell them to take their butts up to 1526 Sedgwick Avenue in the South Bronx when it was created in 1973. Because I could almost I could almost tell you for sure they're gonna be running up out of there once they say, "Oh, it was created by Jamaicans," right in front of that building at 1526 Sedgwick Avenue. I already know that because the Black Spades is laying claim on hip hop as we speak. And if you don't believe me, they got plenty of videos on YouTube that talks about them, and they say, "Who said that?" Nah, they better get the hell out of here with that. Ain't no Jamaicans create hip hop over here. And if you know the history, you're from New York, Kid Gravity. You know we have Old Timers Day here every year. It's like a end of
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
it's a end of the summer back to school celebration and a party for the kids before they go back to school in fall. It
Yep.
wasn't. It didn't just happen to be created in the Bronx in 1973. At that moment, it could have been discovered anywhere because we was holding these things every year at the end of the summer. These big block parties or these project parties, as they call them. Project celebrations like anniversaries. They call them Old Timers Day. Okay, we do it every year. So hip hop could have been discovered every year. I mean, anywhere in New York. You got DJ Grandmaster Flowers. He's from Brooklyn. He's a Black American. He was the one that started the beats and everything from back then. And we're talking about the 60s. James Brown with King Heroin. Okay. A year later, DJ Grandmaster, what is his name? You got DJ King Mario. Okay. All of them dudes came out in the 60s. Pigmeat Markham in the late 60s. Here comes the Judge, the Jubilaries. Okay? I mean, all of these people been out since the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, and the 70s. And now y'all want to sit up here and stake claim? That's not going to happen because once all these FBAs here in New York City find out, because I'm going to tell, once they find out for sure what's going to happen, the ball game is going to change. It's going to change. And I'm letting everybody know that right now. And that's all I got to say. Thank you.
Yes, yes, ma'am. And just to add one other thing to that, a lot of these Caribbeans, they like to claim hip hop, but they stay within Brooklyn, Bronx, and Queens. They dare not go to Manhattan and say that because you
You
know what's
want to
gonna
know?
happen in Harlem and Uptown. You know what's gonna happen.
Like I said, they're only saying it within their enclave. Because, like I said, I did a couple of them. I tell you what, go to Lexington Avenue between Tompkins and Marcus Garvey, and I dare you say that. I want to see how fast you run. Go to Cedric Avenue in the South Bronx, and I want to see how fast you run.
Well, the Bronx, you ain't run nowhere.
I'm telling you,
You
they gonna find a way to get out of there. Y'all can say that in Flatbush, Crown Heights, or whatever, but you're not gonna say it in the sty. I can almost
nah,
guarantee that.
no,
You ain't gonna
not
make
in
it
the
out of there.
sky. Hell no.
Not the
Cause
sty. That's
y'all gotta
I,
remember the sky don't got too many train stations within walking distance. So you damn sure gonna be waiting for a bus there. You gonna get your ass kicked before that bus come, and then the bus driver still gonna ask you for your 275.
and you want to be honest, the cab drivers ain't gonna even stop to pick you up. You
Oh
bet
hell
that
no,
you
they gonna
better
stop and whip their phone out and take a picture of it and then drive off because he ain't taking you to the hospital because then he
well
gonna have to deal with police.
they're gonna be taking that picture while they driving. Trust me, they not stopping.
Yep. And you know a lot of them illegal, so they damn sure ain't gonna be messing with the police.
Nah,
Taking you
not
to
at
the
all.
hospital.
Not at all. So they already trying to say that Black Americans actually came from the Caribbean instead of Africa. So I'm like,
Oh
what?
Lord, yeah.
Yeah,
I was actually about to talk about that.
they,
The other thing that pissed me off, they were talking about the Jamaican sound systems.
yeah,
How they got it. They like Jamaicans invented that. I'm like, y'all forgot about the bands back in the 30s who were having battles.
the big bands, yeah, the
They
big
just
bands,
love forget. They just love dismissing y'all's history.
yeah.
It's fascinating.
So like I said, I'm about to make some changes, and like I said, I'm gonna put all this information out there because a lot of people won't learn about this. I'm telling you. So
Yes, ma'am. Hey,
it's gonna be some
FBAs,
changes.
and y'all getting this from your non FBA B1 brothers. Start calling hip hop ice on these people, please. But let's keep it moving. Mac and then Black Voltron. Go ahead.
Okay. Now, getting back to the gatekeeping thing. If you ever notice, there's a difference. Okay, the Mexicans complain on the West Coast that we don't let them into hip hop. Now, you look at the street politics that go on the West Coast, and they are absolutely correct. And even down south, you don't see people running out to let others into the hip hop game. In Chicago, you don't see it. In Detroit, you don't see it. Those ones that made it, the Eminems and this, they have extremely high talents, but they went through black gatekeepers to get there. Okay, they didn't form their own thing to get there. G Easy has never been accepted on an FBA basis. His fan base is, the same white girls that like Britney Spears and that type of shit. So he's not even taken serious. But I'm just saying, now when we hop over to the other side of the country, oh, they let the Puerto Ricans in, they let the Dominicans in, and then they turned it into some shit called reggaeton, which is them basically taking the same art form and trying to call it something else and make theirs, but it's rooted in something called reggaeton, which is, like I say, reggae is, what that is already. So I look at Fat Joe, and he's been walking around the last few years calling himself Afro Latino, and this is an excuse. This is so I can use the word nigga. I'm Afro Latino. I'm black too. He wasn't saying that in the '90s, bro. Uh, uh, the lady Evelyn Lanzada, the basketball wife, soon as she get in trouble with black people, well, I'm an Afro Latina. I don't remember none of these people claiming that shit. And these people are my age group. I'm 48 years old. Okay, I'm born in '73. Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, they went out of their way to say that they wasn't black. Okay, we have black blood in us, but we not black. They went out of their way. But now because everybody wants to be a part of this thing called hip hop and the rap scene and be successful at it, they got a way to tie into the black lineage, FBA lineage in this country, and it's disgusting. But like I said, I don't see nobody from back east standing up and protecting the craft. I mean, I don't see it at all. The usual suspects. I mean, when we look at our greatest hip hop stars, the greatest NWA, uh, 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 Ghetto Boys, and I do know that Bushwick Bill was Jamaican. Okay, but your greatest stars is always FBA. The ones that we can cut on the radio right now, and if you got a old school hip hop station in your town, you're gonna hear the old school FBA songs, the songs that stick, not the shit that they play now that don't make it past 2 or 3 weeks. So just making more points, man. Let me let somebody else speak.
And anybody notice that Fat Joe looked like a yellow light bulb in this picture?
My man. Say it again.
He looked like a yellow light bulb.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm a younger cat, and I wasn't really into hip hop back then. Did Cuban Link really run this man down to Miami, or is that just urban myth?
Well, I've heard some stories about Fat Joe. I don't think I can really say on here, but I wouldn't be surprised if he did. But it's just all internet talk, so we can't take everything for face value. But I'll put the feelers out and see what's being said.
Hmm, all right. Black Voltron gone.
Hey, hey, what's up, everybody? What's up, Stephanie, Nikki, Kid Gravity, uh, NYCT girl? Just wanted to. I know Mac Rojo stole a little bit of my thunder and stuff, but I just wanted to, show my age and stuff. I remember going to New York City back in 1993 for the new music seminar. Yeah, nigga was trying to be a MC and a DJ back in the day and stuff. Didn't quite pan out. But I was there. I stayed in New York City for a week. I was on 148th and St. Nicholas. I was deep uptown and loved every bit of it. It was like second time I've been to New York City. And at the New Music Seminar, I saw these niggas. I saw Busta Rhymes. I mean, extensively. Fat Joe, that nigga was out there, Rucker Holcomb Park. We actually walked from where we were staying at, right, right down 145th, right over there to 150. What was it, 155th, I think? And, when we was out there, watching that shit, that nigga Fat Joe, or excuse me, that Puerto Rican Fat Joe wasn't saying none of this bullshit. That motherfucker was quiet as shit. And I just find it hella disingenuous that, a lot of these New York cats, like back in 1993, wasn't talking none of this bullshit. They wouldn't dare say no shit like this. They get straight fucked up inside by niggas on the block and shit. Cousin was going around the corner found the weed man in New York City. How he did that, I don't know. But we was chilling with the brothers. They knew we was from the West Coast, and I made it plain, nigga. I'm from Oakland, nigga. What's up with it? I don't give a fuck. The hood is the hood. I don't care if it's NYC or wherever I'm at. Town business is gonna be town business. But I just find it hella phony and disingenuous that these fake ass fucking rappers, these old niggas, running around talking about hip hop started in Jamaica, Pete Rock, Busta Rhymes, and Fat Joe, and in the newer generation, Nicki Minaj and all these island motherfuckers and shit. Wasn't none of you niggas talking none of this bullshit in the 90s, 2000s, even the early 2000s and teens. You were mighty fucking quiet about this shit. And being at the New Music Seminar, you had hip hop royalty there. I remember meeting Almighty KG, and he literally broke down the history of hip hop to me. And I was like, God damn, it's like this shit been going back. And he was mentioning the same people, Disco King Mario, Grandmaster Flowers, and he even went back, was like, yeah, man, we was bumping that Parliament, and who was Trouble Funk down there in DC and stuff like that, Rare Essence, just all the soul, funk, and hip hop, Sly and the Family Stone, right out here in the Bay. We was all bumping that soul, funk, and even jazz, with Donald Byrd, doing the fusion and stuff like that. Wasn't no nigga talking about a goddamn thing about Jamaica. The only Jamaican thing they actually came up was in the 90s, 91, when KRS-One did that joint with the joint song with Shabba Ranks. And that shit was fire. I loved it and stuff. But did nobody say that Shabba Ranks was the creator and Jamaica was the creator of fucking hip hop? Even KRS-One said that. Started out in the Bronx, South Bronx. Did nobody was talking about this shit. So this is all another co-opting of our culture. I mean, it's just out and out theft at this point, and Fat Joe needs to be shut down immediately. Niggas need to run up on that nigga. Fuck all the dumb shit. Niggas need to run up on that nigga like, nigga, what the fuck you talking about? Goddamn well you wasn't saying that shit in the 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s. You coming up with this old brand new fake ass history. Shut the fuck up when you talking about foundational Black Americans. We got to go back to socking niggas and whatever else violence that might come across that, because that's how you regulate our culture. I mean, us being passive about this shit ain't gonna do shit. All right, we gonna have to regulate these people. If that means we gotta squabble, nigga, we gonna squabble. But you ain't gonna start coming out and just saying these out and out, blatant lies and insult the intelligence of everybody here, all foundational Black Americans, our goddamn culture here in the United States of America, and everybody around the world. Stop spreading these lies. Fuck you, nigga. You know goddamn well you wasn't saying that punk ass shit. Shut your punk ass up. Nigga, if you want to go, go. But regulate our culture. This is us. And we're not allowing anybody, I don't give a fuck how fucking famous it is. Fuck Fat Joe. Fuck Pete Rock. Fuck Busta Rhymes. You contributed to hip hop, yeah. But nigga, fuck you. And your mama, nigga. You ain't running shit around here. Shut your punk ass up and say the truth. Foundational Black Americans started hip hop. End of discussion. James Brown, Parliament Funkadelic, Ohio Players, OJ, Sly and the Family Stone, Jimi Hendrix. This is foundational Black American culture. And like Sister Stephanie Dews was saying, yeah, we was having Battle of the Blands back in the 20s and 30s. Scott Joplin, Cab Calloway, Duke Ellington. Nigga, get the fuck up out of here talking about you niggas created shit. Fuck you. You didn't create a goddamn thing. Let me land on that.
Yes, sir. And just for reference, I said this at the beginning. I'm gonna say it again. Reggae music didn't even start as reggae music. That was ska music. That was mento. That was a goddamn calypso music, and that was American jazz that spawned off and influenced what reggae is today. So please worry about the history of reggae music. It's a rich history. Yes, it is. But please, hip hop, this is a fight y'all gonna lose. And by the way, we already lost the fight when the Grammys gave Soldier goddamn best new reggae artist. We already lost that fight. So yeah, I'm gonna need y'all in New York, especially, go get VP Records in check before y'all come over here and start talking about hip hop. But let's see. Let me get Jay and then Eric and then Stephanie.
Yeah, bro, real quick. Kid Gravy, you from New York, right?
Yes, sir. Brooklyn and Queens and
All
Long
right,
Island.
Brooklyn. All right, from Brooklyn. So I'm just going a quick reference. Back in the day, they used to have the dance hall clubs, Starlight, Legend, I'm saying Love Peoples, a whole bunch of them, Biltmore. These are Jamaican clubs. If you would even attempt to hear American hip hop song in these clubs, you would fuck around and get shot.
Yes,
They
sir.
never claimed it in the 80s. They never claimed. They used to say, get that Yankee music out of here.
Say that again.
I'm telling you, it's crazy. They would tell people, get that Yankee music out of Yankee music. I don't understand it, bro. See, we went so global and make some sense. I'm on a school bus, y'all. I'm a school bus driver. But we went so global with what we were doing, man. They can't believe it. That's why I say FBA, Freedmen, we are special people, man. I love my lineage, man. But I'm gonna close it on that. They was not fucking with our music, man, at all. They don't really fuck with our people. They keep with their little community. They do what they do. And she right. The sister that was talking about the star and all that, go on Lexington, you go on Gates Ave and all that, talking that crazy shit. You right. And I'm in East Flatbush, so I know I seen the transition, And but I'm gonna give a warning to the brothers in the South. They coming down there, and they quiet because they numbers ain't up. So just be on point with that too, because that's how it was in Brooklyn. They was quiet, but their numbers is up. So you know how that go. Once you get your numbers up, you start pushing your chest out. At the end of the day, they was not. They never claimed our music, man. Dance, so they never claimed our music. If anything, they used to copy our music and try to sing it in they patois.
Will you
And that's
talk
a
to
fact.
him?
And that's
Hey,
a fact. A lot of our
Sanchez, he
greats,
was a big one.
big artists, Sanchez. My
Barrington
mind is
Levy,
going.
they all did it.
My mind is going. So you know that already. They
I
they
know. I
copied
know. I
our
used to get my
songs.
CDs from Jamaica Avenue in Utica.
Say
Yeah,
less.
they used
Say
to take
less.
all them great American songs and sing the
And
shit.
copy them. And copy them right over. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm gonna yield my mic on that though.
yeah. Be careful with them kids out there, brother. Eric, go Stephanie, and then we got to talk brother Marcel. But go ahead, Eric.
Okay, thank you, Kid Gravity, for letting me talk. A lot of these, foreigners just forget the essence of hip hop and what it originally came from. And I know that you come from Jamaican descent, but when some of these artists talk about, hip hop allegedly being started by, Jamaican artists, they always want to talk about the speakers, what type of speakers they were using in the music, the so-called, people of hip hop. But they don't realize that people been using different types of speakers in these dance sessions in the 60s and throughout the 80s. We've been doing this, way longer, but they just put it in their own, style with their own, beat and stuff. And for, a dude like Fat Joe, who always been a shapeshifter throughout his whole career, he never could be anybody on his own as a solo artist. He always had to have a group around him, with the whole Terror Squad people and stuff. And it just comes a point in time where some of these people need to go back and actually look at the history of hip hop and where it really started at. And that's come from foundational Black Americans putting their all into it way before these dudes ever, came into the mix and put their own repertoire in it.
Yes, sir. And a lot, and they got that speaker culture from New York and Florida, but they never want to tell you that. But Sister Stephanie, go ahead.
I wanted to piggyback off what Black Voltron said and then what you said. First and foremost, when you get the time, look at the interview with Daddy O from Stetsasonic when he talks about the history of hip hop and how it started and where it actually came from. He breaks it down beautifully. Shout out to them. Salute to Stetsasonic, Daddy O. Also, look at the interview with Biggie when Biggie said where he grew up at. He grew up on St. James Place and Fulton Street in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. Okay. And he even said growing up, they could not tell people that they were Jamaican. They was telling people that they were Black American because to them back then during that time, it was not cool to say you was from Jamaica. They said that they couldn't tell people that back then. They used to lie and say they was American. That's where, that's that I think that's another reason why we're in the situation that we're in now. It's co-op. You know what I'm saying? But you got to look at X Clan and all of them. They was ushering in Pan Africanism, African Bombada. This is why we're in the mess that we're in now because we got adjusted to it without, factually going back and looking at all the things and saying, hey, what's really happening here? We didn't pay attention to it because we said, hey, we all Black. We could all get along as long as everybody respect and know where hip hop came from. You know what I'm saying? So now we're in this bind, and a lot of people, like I said, they still are not aware of what's really happening. And this is why I have to say something. So salute to each and everybody in here. Thank you.
Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. All right. Before I bring on Brother Marcel, everybody, please make sure you tweet the space out. Follow everybody in the room so because the more voices, the more we can end this white this I'll call it Pan African washing of hip hop because this got to be done. But yes, we have the young brother Marcel Dixon, and I know Marcel down in the South, so he gonna represent for the South. I need him to speak on this. Go ahead, brother Marcel.
Hey everyone. Well, first of all, I don't care about music really, and I know that's like blasphemy, being a freedman or foundational Black American, because we're gifted people in every way, but we're such musically gifted people. And I come from a family until my parents came along and they were born, but my grandparents were all very musical. My grandmother sang and a group. And my grandfather, he was a musical prodigy. My father's father, my mother's mother is the one that sang in a group. And my great grandmother knew something was bad about hearing, even though at that time it wasn't a lot of education about it. And my grandfather was a musical prodigy. He could pick up any instrument and play it. He was South Carolina State's band director, had them once more. They haven't won since him, then the University of South Carolina. So you think I should be like very musical, but music's never really, I mean, other than a few daydreams, music's never really been important to me. So I used to just say out of this topic here, but I decided I'm just in that mood today. I said I'm gonna go and jump in. Yeah, non-FBA did not create hip hop. They just gotta accept it. No, I mean, no, it was not some African influence from centuries ago that led to hip hop. No, we were far, 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 far removed from our African roots by the time hip hop appeared. I'm not saying there was any cultural retention, but this trying to attribute everything Black Americans do to some centuries removed African identity that our ancestors may have once had is absolutely ridiculous. First of all, hip hop didn't even really start when people think it did in the 1970s. Black people were rapping as early as the 1920s and 1930s and 1940s with the advent of scatting. If those who don't know what scatting is, y'all know I love Nina Simone. Scatting is what a lot of jazz musicians used to do towards the end of the song. Nina Simone is popular for doing it. It can sound almost like a person speaking in voodoo inspired tongue, or it could be what Little Richard used to do. When people started scatting, you had people like Count Bass or whatever came along and they started actually adding words to it. Sometimes people would just say vocables, words that have no definition, that aren't intelligible, but then people came along and eventually started adding words to it. But if you really want to go to the roots of rap music, as far as rapping goes, I know hip hop is what DJing, graffiti, breakdancing, and rapping. But if you really want to get to the part of rapping, then really we got to give South Carolina credit. You wouldn't have hip hop without South Carolina because James Brown is the most sampled artist in hip hop music. And a lot of hip hop artists, the earliest ones said it was James Brown that really influenced them. And James Brown was born right here in Beach Island, South Carolina. He was not born in Montego Bay, Jamaica. He was not born in Ocho Rios, Jamaica. He was not born in Kingston, Jamaica. He was not born in Negro, Jamaica. He was not born in San Juan, Puerto Rico, or Havana, Cuba. He was born right there in Beach Island, South Carolina. His country family is still right here in Barnwell County, South Carolina. Okay, that's where his influence came from. He grew up in a home in his aunt's home. And his aunt, she would have music on according to how the story goes, so that he, as a child, could be on his side of the house and not be exposed to what was going on the other side of the house. So anybody reads about James Brown biography, you can definitely see, and if you read about the earliest hip hop artists, that's where it came from. Also want to shut something else down too. Breakdancing. Okay? Now, breakdancing, I'm not going to go into the deep history of it all, but as far as Black Americans go, Black Americans were breakdancing on the plantations. There's even actually a video footage of some Black American guys breakdancing on the plantation. Graffiti. If you come down here to Savannah, Georgia, and you go to the First African Baptist Church, you can actually see graffiti written on the pews. Now, some of it, and this is going to make some of the Pan Africans happy. Some of it actually is some African languages that some of them spoke, but some of it was actual, according to what some anthropologists say, was just actual symbols that some of them were drawing as a part of the Underground Railroad. That's graffiti. So none of this stuff came from non-FBA. It all has FBA, pure FBA roots. Everything, a matter of fact, we want to talk about giving credit. Let's give credit to FBA people for other genres of music. Salsa would not exist without FBA people. Salsa was simply a combination of Black American jazz mixed with the Cuban son. That's how salsa came about. If it wasn't for jazz, you wouldn't have salsa. If it wasn't for gospel, you wouldn't have rock and roll. You wouldn't have heavy metal. A lot of the things that exist in other parts of the world, Afro beats, reggae, talking about
Don't
Jamaican
forget
creative
country
hip
too,
hop,
brother.
huh?
Don't forget country.
Definitely country. The blues. If without gospel, you wouldn't have the blues. Without the blues, you wouldn't have country. Okay, but I'm gonna land this right here too. They want to talk about Jamaicans creating hip hop. Wrong. Black Americans created reggae. That's what doesn't get discussed enough, because there's a guy, I don't know, he doesn't come into spaces, but he's a guy, y'all know his Twitter page. I think his name is Black American Soul. He always posts a lot of resources about music, and I've been reading it. And it was some of the earliest reggae artists saying how they were influenced by Black American reggae, Black American soul, Black American jazz, and the form of toasting. Some of them heard about it when they lived in the UK and came back to Jamaica. So, I mean, there's levels to this, but I'm just going to land right there.
Yes, sir. And to also add to what Marcel said, I have that as the I guess now it's the fourth image in the jumbotron, where they have admitted, historians have admitted, that a lot of the World War II soldiers that were stationed in Jamaica brought over jazz music, and it got influenced with the ska music. So FBAs have been influencing everybody. All they're asking, folks, just give them their flowers. We can all eat off the same hip hop plate, but pay homage to where it started and the roots of it. Don't just hug the don't sit up there and lionize the fruit when you're sitting there actively trying to take out the roots. Don't do that, because you're hearing the vitriol coming from FBAs. They're, like they said, they're at a crossroads right now. And if they take it to that next level, we're not gonna like it. Y'all gonna run to them white folk. And I really should say the Jewish folk. I'm just gonna say the Jewish folk. You're gonna run to them and have them try to shut FBA down. Y'all don't want that smoke, because they don't care as long as they getting money off of it. But Matt, go ahead. Then Moses 7.
Now, as you see, you have a few of us corroborating the same story. I don't know the brother Marcel. I know of his campaign. He did a great thing with running there. But a lot of us are giving you the same information from different parts of the country. Okay. So you know that there's some validity to it. This documentary is what I spoke about earlier. So apparently Marcel knows about the same thing that I know about, where the reggae artists are giving props to the soul singers for allowing them to actually create a music inspired that would become a reggae at some point in time, and dance hall eventually. So that's there now. Now the sister Stephanie, she mentioned Daddy O, and props to her for that. Um, because actually Daddy O has been questioning himself and whether or not he's even hip hop. Stetsasonic is hip hop. I seen in the interview where he's not too satisfied by the idea of being called a hip hop artist at this point in life. And the reason being is because he said we played live instruments for one, you know, and I don't think he liked the direction that hip hop was going with a lot of the other people coming and claiming it, LGBT, the BAM situation. He just didn't like where hip hop was going. It was getting nasty, and he didn't want to be tied to it. I guess his manhood and what he stood for. So you see people like Daddy O breaking ranks, and I think it's time going and we mature because a lot of the hip hop artists, the greatest ones, are now anywhere from what 46 to up in the 50s, 60s now. So as we mature, we're gonna get more of the realistic point of views from some of these people. I'm hoping, and I'll let somebody else speak.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for that. Moses Seven, go ahead.
Thanks for the space. Appreciate it. Kid Gravity, Moses. What's seven is my name, Marcel. Shout outs to Marcel. Still happy Juneteenth for the family. Uh, None FBAs did not create hip hop. That's a fact. Matter of fact, I did my research and I have the receipts. All right, let me. I have the receipts. Who should I start with first? Who influenced the creation of hip hop? The influence of hip hop started in the '60s. All right, everything Marcel said, those blues, those jazz, South Carolina, Detroit, Chicago, all of that was bubbling. It was the seed conceiving hip hop. All right, and you go on Wikipedia and it'll show you now. Um, the first graffiti artist ever is Darrell McCray in Philadelphia. Darrell McCray, 1950, not 1953, um, um, in North Philly, doing graffiti tags, and it became a thing, and it spread all across the USA. Darrell McCray, all right, first graffiti artist. It's on Google. Google it. You'll find it. Just type first graffiti artist, and it'll show you Darrell McCray. Now, on the first rock and roll artist, we all know that was Chuck Berry. All right, Chuck Berry influenced everyone. We don't even have to talk about that. Now, reggae influence. Now, the reggae influence on Wikipedia. Wikipedia tells you this: reggae is strongly influenced by American jazz and rhythm and blues. All right, 1960, 1960. So this is facts. Look, um, as look, it's very flattering to see non-foundational Black Americans want to lash on to foundational Black Americans' creations and claim it. Flattered. But you know what? You can't have it. You know why you can't have it? Because it's well documented and we have receipts to show who it belongs to. So they can keep with all that blabbering, gibberish. It's flat garbage word salad. No one's buying it. No one is buying it, man. No one is buying it because we're having this conversation. You know why they're not buying it? That basketball player with the Warriors that went around, oh, Mexican, Mexican. Look, the black grassroots put that through the mainstream new black media, and everyone just been talking about it. And he had to get some act right. You saw that interview. Yeah, I'm proud to be Black American. He heard the black grassroots, the new black media, we control the narrative. We control the narrative, so that's why they can't get away with saying these things anymore. Probably in the '90s when we were just voting a Democrat, but now we're voting. We're not voting emotionally anymore.
We're not emotional people anymore. We're very sophisticated, highly aware of the political structure and the undermining, the banal neglect. We're highly aware of everything that's going on, and we have receipts, and we have conversations, and we are not just online. We are on the ground doing the work. That's why nationwide Marcel gained momentum. Imagine what that could have been done if he had enough time to galvanize the rural area of South Carolina. The jig is up. We have the template, and we're moving forward, and we are tearing doors down. They cannot get away with scapegoating or latching on. Look, they can't scapegoat the Black American vote anymore. That's a fact. That's why they're doing all this gibberish, signing bills for everyone. It's a big fu. They're giving us their middle finger. You know why? Because we got them cornered. This is how a sucker acts, a sore loser. This is how they behave when you corner them. Oh yeah, well, you know what? I don't like you. Well, you know what? I'm gonna. Yeah. That's how they're behaving right now, passing all these bills for everyone and just ignoring us. This is just them showing their colors, and we documented everything. They can't run from this in 2024. They cannot run from this in 2024. So the creation has been specifically FBA. FBA have specifically created all of these genres. If you go on my timeline, thanks to Marcel, it actually started with Marcel because he was posting about great FBA creators, and I just piggybacked off that. Art imitates art, and I've just been on a, on a campaign to just promote FBA creators, and then and now. I mean, there are so many FBA creators that are doing amazing things right now in life science, biopharmaceutical, technology, um, you name it. We don't just have to be activists. We are actually uh, economic first, economic forward. That's why Marcel has been pushing the Freedmen's Bureau, because that's an economic trust to ensure that FBA affairs are met with properly, and that includes hip hop, because we don't want no one taking that. I land.